Hey guys, it's Five here with episode number 15 of the Crystal Palace Career Mode on FIFA 23. Kicking it off with the season opener in the Premier League. We're taking on Nottingham Forest, but that is the man you want to look for right there. Anthony Martial. Signed him in the previous episode. We also sold Wilf Zaha, so this will be the first game in years where Zaha has not been a player, or he's not been a Crystal Palace player. You know, obviously, he was injured last season, blah, 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 but it's not our first game without him. But it's the first game where he's not an official squad member. And, you know, it only took 3 minutes for Anthony Martial to replace him. Yeah, he's been replaced. He's been replaced by Martial. It's that simple. The Frenchman, you know, he came from France. They said he had no chance. Very similar to Patrick Vieira. Bit of a cheeky one there. But, yeah, we're up early in this one. And it's going to be a good season. It is going to be a good season. Very early on, defensively, we feel better. Midfield-wise, again, we feel better in that position as well. And attacking-wise, we actually do feel just as good as when we had Zaha, if not better, because of some of the runs and some of the finishes by this young man here. And he gets the assist. Goal and an assist, 19 minutes into his Crystal Palace career. Anthony Martial. Take a bow. Beleze continues his, kicks off, should I say, season number 2 the same way he ended season number 1. And we're 2-0 up against Notts Forest. We haven't, not Nottingham Forest, don't like being called Notts Forest. But against his former team, Dean Henderson, so far has a clean sheet. Unfortunately though, 7 minutes into the second half, he goes and lets one in at the near post. Could he have done better there? Probably. I do now, actually. I've played a bit more Ultimate Team. I've kind of realised every goalkeeper kind of makes a mistake, no matter the rating. So maybe I was a bit harsh on Sam Johnson last season, but, you know, he was shit. So we move on. But we're 2-1 up. We're still getting chances through Anthony Martial. That one there just goes over the crossbar. Would have been right in the top binnage had it been on target. And a lovely little bit of sweeper keeper action by Dean Henderson. And, you know, Nottingham Forest are starting to turn on the adrenaline, the action. They're starting to press higher up. And there's only one thing that can do that. That is a bullet. A metaphorical bullet in the goal by Martial. And you can see, you'll hear, the Palace fans, they are already loving him. You love it from the Palace fans. 2 goals in his debut and an assist. Things are looking good for Martial. You know, it's the confidence. It's the confidence. That is what we know Martial is a good player. Just the more confidence he gets, the better he gets. We do go and concede quite a nice goal actually from Forest, but thankfully we had secured that 3rd goal, and thankfully we pick up all 3 points at Selhurst Park on match day number 1. You know, that's what we do. But we needed a backup left back. This man left Chelsea to join Barcelona at the beginning of this season in real life, and they've let him go in games. So a pretty nice, you know, we gave him the important role. He's not going to be important. He's going to be a backup. Took a big wage cut, and Marcos Alonso is coming in to be the backup left back behind Tyreek Mitchell. You know, for those games where we're going to be the attacking threat, we're going to be the dominant team, chuck him on, because he's one of the best goal-scoring defenders the Premier League's ever seen. You know, Marcos Alonso, 32 years of old. Yeah, whatever. I think it's a cheeky little pickup. Obviously, hopefully we can develop maybe some youth academy left backs by the time he retires. But yeah, I think a good little deal there, formerly of Barcelona. We know he can be proven in the Premier League, and we'll just have to see how he does. Obviously, defensively, he's the complete opposite of Tyreek Mitchell, you know. He's not the best defensively, but then offensively, he's also the complete opposite of Tyreek Mitchell. As I said, one of the best goal-scoring defenders the Premier League has ever seen, along with one of the best goal-scoring attackers in Martial. completely made that up. That's just not true. But he did hit the post, trying to get his third goal in 2 games. Didn't quite work out, but we are having the more attacking chances here against Fulham. We know we can beat them. We smashed them near the end of last season. Obviously, they got that silly little red card, and it just allowed us to tear them apart. And not quite the same this one. We're obviously being more attacking, but defensively, they have set up perfectly. Thankfully, Fletcher goes for a little pop shot, and he actually sneaks it in at the near post past Gazaniga, and we go 1-0 to the goodness. Young Alexander Fletcher, another player, picking up where he left off last season, getting in on the goals, which you love to see. I think he scored against Brighton, he scored against Spurs, and now he scored against Fulham. You know, he loves to score against the local rivals of Palace. But Martial, he wants in on the action, couldn't quite dribble past his man, and actually a counter-attacking opportunity does arise here as Pereira finds Decordova-Reid, lovely over the top through ball. Omar Richards-Artier now is not strong enough, lovely bit of skill, and thankfully Mitrovic hits the crossbar in that situation, because that was a beautiful bit of strength, beautiful bit of skill. Thankfully though, it does still keep us at 1-0 as Martial plays it inside to Fletcher, trying to get his second of the game. Didn't quite work out, and Elise stretches, and he just can't quite reach. But yeah, like I was saying, this season we're only 2 games in, I know, but it seems like the team has improved quite a lot. And that being Dean Henderson, Alonso there almost making a mistake on his debut, giving the ball away in the last few minutes. Thankfully, he rises high, clears it away, kind of makes up for that slight mistake he made. But yeah, there's 5 minutes remaining. We're right up against the Wolves here, struggling. They are getting a lot of balls into the box. Thankfully, we're getting most of them away. You can see there, they hit the post, not quite cleared away. Kearney, that shot's blocked. They shoot again. It's out for another corner. Another one's going to come into the box. Got to get the big men on it, get it away, and just go home. Kind of thankfully, very fortunately, with a 1-0 victory. We do so again with Alonso, but Pereira, Decordova-Reid, Bashile, and then it is Madavi. I think he plays in the French league in real life. Holds off against Guerhi, turns him, puts it in at the near post. And I mean, I've got to admit, it's what they deserved. Especially for that last kind of 10 minutes, they put us right up against it. We just couldn't defend them, and eventually it did come. We knew it was coming. But a 1-1 draw at Craven Cottage, starting off the season with 4 points. It's not too bad, but it did kind of enlighten me. We need a few more names at centre-back. Right now we only have 3 centre-backs, Guerhi, Richards and Anderson. And I'm probably going to look to sell on Anderson, so I want to sign 2 maybe more experienced, older centre-backs. The first of which is going to be Ben Mee from Brentford. Obviously, he joined them from Burnley, I think on a free. He's 33 years of age. He's 78 overall. Captain material. So, you know, when he does play, he'll help Guerhi out at the back, leadership-wise. He's going to just give him the exact same wages as what we tried to do. Second time around, we gave him a bit of a bigger bonus, and he did accept. Obviously, he got relegated with Brentford last season, but he's coming back up to the Premier League. As I said, 33 years of age, leader, Premier League experience, bit of a bargain for what we paid in 4 million. I think personally, and so does the game, giving us that A rating. But like I said, I want to get 2 more experienced centre backs into the club, and the second of which I think is another really good one. It is going to be Connor Cody from Wolves. Obviously, he's Wolves' captain, but they loaned him out to Everton in real life, so that kind of makes me think maybe they don't want to quite keep him around. So we are going to try and get a bit of a deal, try and strike a deal with, well, the former manager now, Bruno Lage, and we do so for £11 million fee. He's actually only 30 years old. I thought he was older than that, quite a few years older than that actually. But we're going to give him the important role, 3 years, nice 40k contract with a nice little signing on bonus, and he is going to accept. So now we have 5 centre backs. Anderson is most likely going to be on his way out. Should we get the right money for him, should the right team come in for him. But I think Cody and Ben Mee, 2 captains, 2 former Premier League captains, years of Premier League experience. And yeah, they come in, they help Guerhi, who's young, they help Richards, who's young. Anderson, he's kind of, well, he's not, he's young for a centre-back. So they're going to come in and help all of them with having the experience. And We come into the final game of today's episode. Pretty early on in this season, we've got a bit of a rivalry game against Brighton. Last season, we beat them 4-1 at the Amex. They came to Selhurst Park. They beat us 3-1. So it's a bit of a high-scoring game every game so far. And hopefully that doesn't change. And hopefully, though, this time it goes in our favour as Martial 2 minutes in. Could have, again, instantly become a Palace legend scoring against Brighton. Didn't quite work out that way, though. But we are going to keep possession of the ball. We are going to continue the attack as Fletcher. You know, he's already scored against Brighton in his very short career. But unfortunately, we couldn't quite create anything there. And they go for a long ball over the top. Lovely bit of play there from Dean Henderson. And Mitchell's going to be able to collect this one. And we're going to work our way out from the back. Or so we thought. A very silly giving away of possession. And there's a real chance for them. Dangerous attack as Enoch and Wepu unfortunately had to retire just a few days ago. It's really unfortunate. I think he's only 24 years old. But the heart condition means he has to retire. You know, it's annoying. You know, sometimes, I don't know how to explain it. You know, you could be the best footballer in the world, but there is always going to be that worry, that panic, that something like that could happen. And I mean, at least they did catch it before something terrible could have happened potentially on the pitch, you know, a potential maybe heart attack, something fatal. So that is a very fortunate thing. But yeah, it's a really, really sad, you know, it's a sad piece of news that someone so young, so good, a lot of potential on him, just can't play anymore. And yeah, I mean, wish him the best with whatever he does next, but you know, I don't really think he needs me to wish him the best. But we are going to go and score. We've been peppering their goal all game. And eventually, Anthony Martial gets his third goal in just as many games. AM9. The cold, ice in his veins baller. He's not whipped the black gloves out yet, but that will be very, very soon. I can guarantee you that. Makes it 1-0 against Brighton. And as I said, up in lights at the Selhurst Park. And you know, Brighton, they looked dangerous coming into this one. And I mean, when Trossard can do something like that, and just even the fact that Dean Henderson even had to dive for that, just showed how close it was going to be and how dangerous it was from Trossard. We did obviously the Brighton career at the end of FIFA 21, and they were really good. Trossard was insane in that career mode. But it is that man that scored an incredible free kick against us at Selhurst Park. Horta, Portuguese, I think he's from Braga in real life. But he makes it 1-1, gets them back on level terms. It's not quite what we want. Well, it's obviously not what we want, but get back into this one. Hopefully we can do so. Everyone is still on the pitch. We haven't made any substitutions just yet. So Elise's still on, Eze's still on. So is Martial, and thankfully I think Brighton have made a few subs. They've brought on some fresh legs, but they're not quite got into the game yet. And Martial goes and gets his second goal of the game. He's on for a hat-trick once again. He's got braces in both of his home games this season. And we're not done there because 3 minutes remaining. Mitchell finds Doucouré. Doucouré is going to find Edouard. He's going to lay it off. Finds Martial. Holds off his man brilliantly. Edge of the box. He finds his way in. He hits it on his right foot. He goes and secures the victory with 3 goals of his own, securing himself the match ball for this game. And what a game to get a match ball for. The rivalry against Brighton is so big for Palace fans. And he's gone and got the match ball in this one. Similar to Elise last season, that's 2 out of 3 games against Brighton where a player has scored a hat-trick. It's brilliant to see. And he has got 5 goals in 3 games for us this season. But once again, it's Tony Martial. He came from France. The English press said he had no chance. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one. If you have, please like, subscribe, and peace.